Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder once again with another story for you. This one is Am I the Astronaut for not letting my parents be involved grandparents with my child because they chose my sister's friend over me? This sounds complicated. I am 25 female, pregnant with my first child, and only a few weeks ago, my estranged parents found out about my pregnancy from someone I know back in my hometown. They reached out so excited to find out that they were going to be grandparents and wanting to be involved, but I ignored them and continued ignoring them until 2 days ago when I replied one time and made it clear they will never know my child or be in our lives and that I wanted them to stop contacting me. This was all via email, by the way. Let me get into some background. I have an older sister, Sam, 28, and she had a best friend, Luna. Sam and Luna met in pre-K and became fast friends. Luna was over at our house all the time, and eventually she started saying really awful things to me and bullying me. She called me names, mocked me whenever I asked if I could spend time with her and Sam, threw stuff at me when she'd see me, and even made a game out of spitting at me and seeing how many times she could hit me. She sounds like a real treat. Real Southern belle, that one. My parents knew and they did nothing. But once I was 7, they sat me down and told me that Luna had a bad time at home and she was mean, but she needed us and I needed to understand. And how Luna was so important to Sam and she would grow up into a better person if we did not abandon her. You don't have to abandon her to protect your child. OP's parents, what the hell? If we don't let her beat up on you, like things are going to get worse for her. So you just have to take 1 or 4,000 for the team. She used to come along to extended family parties and dinners. I remember one time, mom's side was all meeting up, and because my parents didn't say Luna was coming, we were a chair short for a bit. Luna took the chair and then said that there was no room for me at the table, just like there wasn't room for me anywhere. I should cry in a corner somewhere. Mom's family were horrified, and I started to cry. I was like 9 by then. My grandparents ended up leaving the table and getting one for just the 3 of us, and they spoiled me while they refused to pay for a single thing Luna consumed. They asked me what was going on too, and I told them everything. Afterward, my parents got so much shit from my mom's side of the family, and my mom's parents contacted my dad's parents, and they were shamed by both sides. When they had enough of that, my parents told Sam that Luna needed to come over less, or she needed to be nicer. It took that for them just to be like, okay, just a little bit less then. They sort of stuck to that for a while. My grandparents checked in on me weekly to see if my parents were letting that spoiled little madam into the house to abuse me, and I think that was the deterrent for my parents. But then when I was 12, my parents let Luna move in with us. They said her home situation was worse, and she was going to apologize, and we were going to make sure she felt wanted and welcome with us. Hey, your sister's friend needs to feel welcome and wanted. Meanwhile, we don't really care if you do. I got a sorry, I guess, from her, but I could hear her making fun of me to Sam whenever me and my parents weren't around. She'd laugh about how I looked betrayed when my parents told me she was moving in. She found it hilarious. I think you can see whose side Sam was always on. I lived like that for a little over a year before it got to be too much, and I told my grandparents Luna was living with us. They didn't know for a year. They went ballistic on my parents, and after weeks or months of fighting about it, my grandparents insisted I was going to move in with them. My parents protested against it, but my grandparents said they couldn't be trusted to take care of me. My parents wouldn't kick Luna out for me, so yeah, I lived with my grandparents the rest of that time, and I actually live in the same neighborhood as them with my partner now. I actually had 0 contact once I moved in with my grandparents. These emails were the first contact in more than a decade. What the They hadn't talked to their kid, who they just completely neglected to the point that she moved in with her grandparents, haven't talked to her for a decade, got wind that she was pregnant, and are like, oh, we're so excited to be grandparents, yay! Wow. My parents keep replying to that one email. I got like 4 within a few minutes, about an hour after I sent it, and they're telling me I'm taking this too far, and they said Luna isn't even in the picture anymore. Am I the astronaut? Oh, you know what? Oh, Luna's gone? Oh, you know what? All that damage that you all allowed to happen to your child? Yeah, it's just erased now that she's not there anymore. Oh, wait, that's not how this works. The audacity to be like, oh, we get to be involved grandparents now. You had your shot, blew it over and over and over and over and over again, and then are like, yay, we get to celebrate the reward. No. Right, Christiana. Yeah. Then why didn't they contact her for 10 years? How long has Luna been gone? How long have they been wanting to have a good relationship here? 10 years. We just hadn't like found the right moment. Something. Couldn't find the words. Something like that. Candy Thunder, come on up, Tater. Heat lamps on.
Again, finally.
Some pepper. We're ready for some spicy taters here.
I did make fried potatoes today.
They were damn good,
They were damn good.
And some ham and beans.
Yeah, cornbread, full-on meal. My mom made the other
Cornbread.
stuff. But there is nothing in this world that would stop me, like that I could ever not talk to my child for 10 years. I can't imagine putting someone bullying my child above my baby. Like, I can never imagine doing that. And even when everyone in your life is telling you that you're wrong and what you're doing is causing damage, even your child is telling you this, and you're like, you'll be fine. Troubled home life, and turned her into your daughter. Like, you gave your daughter a really troubled home life, and you were like, shh, it's fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Here, do this. Go to your room. She can take your chair. It's fine. We don't give a shit. And then the grandparents finally see it and thank the Lord that you had freaking grandparents that actually cared enough to step in and do something for you. Because I can't imagine if you didn't what the rest of your teenage years would have been like, because I assume they would have been incredibly difficult and life-altering. And for them to step in and take over that parental role, I'm so glad that you had that. But for f***'s sake, what would cause a parent to actually do this to their own child?
Okay, so they have this savior complex, right? Because they thought they were saving Luna from a bad situation without being able to see that they were creating a situation just as bad for their own child, who had to then be rescued by someone else. Like, how do you not see, like, oh, her situation's so bad, like, we've got to do something. Okay, that's exactly what the grandparents were saying about you all.
Right.
The situation's so bad, we got to do something to rescue this child.
If somebody is spitting on my child, like, gloves are off. And I'm definitely not inviting that person into my home so that they can belittle and berate my child in the place where she's supposed to be the most comfortable, where it's supposed to be her safe space, and they took it away from her. And your child will never forgive you for that. Never forgive you for turning what was supposed to be their safe space into this hostile environment where they felt completely uncomfortable. And now you're like, hey, you're pregnant. We'd like to be involved in your life so that we can treat your child with disrespect and make her life a living hell. Those parents, they can off. That's a terrible thing to do to a child.
Shitty parents here. Snazzy Cut, this is one that stuck out at me. It's been 4 years since my mom disowned me. She stole $1,400 out of my bank account for no reason, and I took away her access and posted the text to Facebook. She would do the exact same thing as OP's parents.
That's so up.
That's garbage.
It is garbage. I just can't. I can't even wrap my brain around a situation where I would choose my child's bully over my child. I can't. Yeah, and what about the sister? Right. And the sister just allowed all this to happen and just didn't care. Like, there is no situation where this home life would ever exist in our home. Like, no. I can't. I feel so bad for OP. And I'm just like, I'm so thankful that she had her grandparents on both sides that even condemned this behavior.
If she ignored it, they could have thought, well, she doesn't monitor this email anymore. We're going to try to contact her a different way. But do you feel like responding when someone reaches out after so long just reignites that fire, or does it snuff it out?
I would say in this instance, I wouldn't want them seeking out another form of contact or trying to find out where I live or any of those things. So I would want to snuff it out and be like, just so we're very clear, I want nothing to fucking do with you.
Yeah.
I don't want you in my life. Please don't be here. And then you have a paper trail of saying, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. Don't come around me. Don't try to contact me in any way, shape, or form. And if they do something further, you have proof that you've told them to leave you alone. So I would say, to like she did, simple, don't respond again. Stay the out of my life. Or a letter from a lawyer. That sounds even better.
Yeah.